BYD have just revealed the new Seal 06 GT. Now, the media bizarrely are calling this a hatch. They're saying it's a hot hatch. Honestly, if this is a hatch, it's the biggest hatch ever made in the history of the automotive industry. It's much bigger than the cars it's being compared to. In fact, people are comparing it. A lot of the media are saying it's the competitor to the Volkswagen ID3, but it's actually a much larger car. It's bizarre that they're making this comparison because actually the BYD Seal 06 GT is a very similar size to a Kia EV6. It gives you more of an idea of the real dimensions of this car. I mean, this is the BYD Seal, but the kind of wagon version. In fact, speaking of wagons, it's actually more similar in size to something like a Skoda Octavia wagon than it is a hatchback. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans, you're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us, and I want to say a big thank you to our Patreon supporters, YouTube members, and also to Resync Solar, who have installed my solar system here. I'll put a link in the description, and if you click on that, they'll give you a, well, you can contact them to get solar on your roof. It's good. I know a lot of people haven't done it because they can't be bothered, and they're paying thousands of dollars on their power bills every year. I think that's mad. And people also complain about the cost of electricity in Australia. I think, why? You don't have solar, even though it's really, really cheap to install it. The payback is enormous. The average payback is at $65,000. You'll be in the plus. $65,000 in the plus. I mean, wow. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description to the company that I used. I don't make any money from that, by the way. The new BYD Seal 06 GT was just revealed officially. We have the official details on this car today, in fact. It's probably been a day since it was revealed, seeing as, of course, we've had to edit and create this video since it was officially revealed. Pre-sale price, $21,000, the cheapest version. The most expensive version is $28,000. Now that's US dollars. I estimate, of course, it won't be on sale in America anytime soon, so maybe I shouldn't use US dollars. But anyhow, I estimate the price would be around $45,000 here in Australia. This is based on the so-called Ocean M concept. Not that you really care about that, but it's meant to be like, it's really meant to be a competitor to something like the Neo ET5. In fact, it's a similar size to a Neo ET5. It's honestly essentially a kind of a small to medium electric wagon, but it does look like a hatch, which is kind of one of the cool things about it. It looks very hatch-like, very stylish. I think it's going to be a really good seller for BYD. I personally think it's a much nicer car than the Seal. For me personally, I think it's much nicer. The Seal looks great. This is essentially a BYD Seal, but yeah, a hatch version, or a more practical version. I think it's kind of a bigger boot than the Seal, more accessible boot. And that means it is actually technically shorter than a Seal, but I mean, the interior space will be similar. So how big is this car actually? Well, it's 4.6 meters long. That's 4,630 millimeters. 1,880 millimeters wide, and it's 1.5 meters high. The wheelbase, 2.8 meters. It's got a pretty long wheelbase. I think that's one of the things that makes this vehicle, this EV, it looks good. It's, I think, one of the best looking BYD vehicles, BYD EVs that I've ever seen. It's also really such a nice practical shape. Really a fair bit more practical than a lot of the other vehicles on the market today. I mean, pretty much relatively short bonnet. Honestly, guys, if you can get one of these, if you're looking at a hatchback, I mean, like I said, this is definitely bigger than a hatchback, but if you're looking at a practical car, getting something like this, I think would be a really, really good choice. The other reason it's a good choice is I've just seen a few more fires lately with electric cars. It's not common, it's still very rare, but lithium iron phosphate batteries, much less likely to happen with LFP batteries. Obviously, Tesla does have LFP batteries in their standard range Model 3 and standard range Model Y. BYD have them in all their EVs. Plug-in hybrids, they don't. That's one of the reasons plug-in hybrids can have more fires. But anyway, plug-in hybrids, they don't. EVs, BYD use their Blade battery. They're very, very safe. Very, very safe battery. That's a very good choice. And keep in mind, guys, if you buy the Tesla Model Y in Germany, it actually comes with BYD's Blade battery. So what are you getting on the interior? A 15.6 inch touchscreen. Interior still looks a little weird shaped, kind of curvy shaped. I guess they're trying to be unique, have that ocean theme. I don't honestly like it. I would still own this car. To be honest, that this wouldn't put me off owning the car, but to me, I look at the interior and I just go, not my thing. It's absolutely not my style at all, to be honest. But that said, it's still fairly minimalist, and I'm sure a lot of people won't care. They'll probably think it looks good. Everyone's different, right? There's a 10.25 inch LCD instrument panel right in front of the driver. So I think it's a pretty good size screen for the driver. But importantly, one feature I really like here, it's got a 12 inch heads up display. I love heads up displays. I just think they're fantastic. Well, what else do we know about this car? We know the power, we know the battery sizes as well. So what is the actual motors. It comes with a single and dual motor configuration, basically like the Seal, right? 160 kilowatt, single motor, 310 newton meters. That's for the base version. The mid-spec version has 165 kilowatt and 330 newton meters. Now, I'm not sure that's going to be correct. It sounds unusual to me, those power figures, but that's what's being quoted by Car News China and by CNF Post. There is a dual motor version. That's the so-called hot hatch, right? That will be more expensive. That one will be around $28,000 US. So probably approximately, I'd guess, maybe $55,000, potentially $60,000 Australian dollars. I'm talking, guys, here. So you're more expensive, but the dual motor version does have, like I said, of course, two motors. It's got a 110 kilowatt front motor and a 200 kilowatt rear motor. That means 0 to 100 or 0 to 62 miles an hour is 4.9 seconds. Pretty fast. It's not super fast, but it's, it's got plenty of power. So it's got a total of about 310 kilowatts, about 410 horsepower, somewhere like that. So what else does it have? Well, first of all, those motors. The single motor version is rear-wheel drive. Battery sizes. The standard range battery pack is a 60 kilowatt hour, or technically 59.5, but 60 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate blade battery. As far as I can tell, it looks like, unfortunately, still not the new blade battery version 2. I don't know why BYD shouldn't have let it out the bag that the blade battery version 2 is coming, because I keep thinking that's the one I want. I want the new blade battery version 2 because it has 24% higher energy density. Anyhow, it still has the same blade battery as what is in the existing BYD Seal. That'll give it, with that 60 kilowatt hour battery, range of 505 kilometers on the CLTC cycle. That's what's being quoted here, 505 kilometers. You can get a long range version of this in the rear wheel drive single motor. That comes with a 73 kilowatt hour battery pack. That's the one I would be choosing personally. I think that's going to be the best value option. That has 605 kilometers on the CLTC cycle. So you're looking at about probably 520 kilometers WLTP. That's a good range, right? 520 kilometers. The 505 kilometer base model version with the smaller battery, WLTP, is probably going to be, I would estimate, around 440. All-wheel drive version, I believe, has the bigger battery pack. It's 550 kilometers CLTC, so probably about 475 kilometers WLTP. So ranges are good, but not spectacular. Keep in mind, there are, some strong competitors coming. So the question is this going to be good value? It really depends on the price BYD is going to go with here. Now, I think BYD knows competition is coming from multiple angles. There's 53 new electric cars coming to Australia, or 52 new electric cars that are all Chinese except for the Tesla Model Y. So including the Model Y, the new Model Y, 53. A lot of competition is coming. There's so many different vehicles. They're going to have to be pretty aggressive on price, I think. But if this does come to Australia, which I believe it is, it's going to probably outsell the Seal. I really think people are going to love this, the look of this car, the practicality of it, the style of it. In general, I think it's a bit of a winner as long as it's priced well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.